your cell phones off, please. Thank you.
Lift problem notwithstanding, we are still on time. Yes, Mr. Behari, I'm sure you've not forgotten where you were. I said, please hold your thoughts, so you are sure to remember.
Thank you, Chair.
But may I perhaps just try again? Please try to read. I think we'll go quicker there. Here and there, feel free to do so, but please read.
Thank you. Council has briefed me as well. I'm grateful for that as well.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Chair, I think we can move on to page 16. Alleged failure to act in relation to 6 EMPD officers arrested for extortion. I think, Chair, for me, the one incident that I recall, I don't know if it's the same amount of, is it 120,000 or 80,000? But it involved a Sergeant Shirinda, and Sergeant Shirinda was, when he was charged, he was already in my assisting as a protector after I've received certain threats and so on. So he was there. So when he was arrested, Chair, the only part of mine is that it's an HR function to discipline. I don't get involved in to act in any respect of that. What happens is when EMPD officers, because of the history of EMPD officers who go on raids or whatever the work is, and if they're arrested, there is a situation to say that if you need legal services, we assist, because then you're not going to get EMPD officers wanting to go out at night or at any stage. And this happened before with Chief of Police Mapias approached me, and I said, Chief, give me the facts and then we look at it. So when this incident happened, and there was a I don't know if Captain Magagula from the iPad, and it was all over the news and so on in arresting them. So I don't play a role in that. But I did assist in terms of to secure that no other EMPD officers don't want to go out and do stuff. To say, give them the legal, let them follow the services. It's not something that has not been done before, it is within our capacity. We do allow them that space. The HR functions, what the HR do about it, whether they decide to wait for the criminal conviction or go ahead with that is entirely. And one of the most tricky things was Magagula in the bail application, when it was delayed, the process was delayed. He raised another issue to use in the bail application to say, no, they're also going to be, I'm charging them on another matter, or they've been charged on another matter, only to later find that the DPP declined to prosecute. So he used information that was already finalized to try and stifle the bail proceedings. So those are some of the things we get involved. But I'm reported by that. So I'm not, but Shirinda has since been taken away from my profile. When he was with me, I had no issues. He's excellent in terms of what services he rendered while he was with me. On page 18, Chair, alleged failure to respond to a complaint by the community liaison officer implicating Brigadier. Chair, the only matter I'm aware of here is the one of the grievance that was raised by Colonel Tepa. Now, Colonel Tepa, apparently she was moved from her position, the unit was disbanded. But that is a process between the city manager, the chief of police. When I engaged in the grievance proceedings, I had formal grievance proceedings. I've got a record of my outcome as well. And only to be told by Mr. Ivan Duplessis that no, it was not the Brigadier Mkunazi who was acting chief of police. It was not his decision. It was the decision of Chief of Police Mapieye to disband. So I had nothing. I looked at the grievance. I said, but you're taking a grievance against Brigadier Mkunazi? Whereas the actual decision was taken by Chief of Police together with the city manager. So I did the formal process for that was followed, Chief. So I deny that I ignored that, the process. And in fact, she was also represented by a union from Imatu. And I said to them, take it more serious. If you're not happy with the grievance, you can take it on further. Alleged unlawful participation in the restructuring of the disciplinary and grievance process. I think I've spoken to that already. it goes to that way I'm saying, Chair, nothing was unlawful. It was within the realm of the city manager to do that. And my role just came in at a compliance function. Alleged abuse of labor processes to frustrate or remove certain employees. Chair, this, I deny any reference. I mean, the labor processes are there, they're well documented. Everything we did was within the Labor Relations Act. Mr. Nida raised a unfair suspension and an unfair labor practice act, unfair dismissal application. That was before the bargaining councils. So I think it's one of the questions you posed as well, Chair, but it's not in the HR space. And those were the processes that I had to follow. Nida, we couldn't find, if you look at the, even in this, if I refer to there was, which he provided the commission was an NQF level 8. He says, I have the qualification. And he shows an NQF level 8 labor involvement. I think I have a copy as well, Chief. It's on the annexure bundle, page 32, if I'm not mistaken, Chief. My apologies, it's from page 28 CV, 31. On page 31 of that annexure bundle, Chair. I've also attached it to my bundle, Chair. To motivate the fact that he had the qualification, he refers to an NQF level 8 advanced labor law. Now, Chair, that is contrary to what the requirements of the advert were. The advert spoke about the B Juris or the NQF level 7 with labor law and others as specialized subjects. Then he used this NQF level, higher level, to say, no, I'm valid within this point to get the job. He gave the commission NQF level 8. This NQF level 8 certification only came to the attention of the HOD and during the processes in about March 2024. So this comes back from 2009 when he supposedly obtained the... Now, Chair, on his HR file, we did a vetting in 2021 of all the employees, to look at ghost employees and so on. On his employment file, I think it's important that I just touch on that and then we move on, Chair. Page 38 of that bundle, you can see the University of South Africa Advanced Labour Law, NQF level 7. So the NQF level 8 was 48 credits. The NQF level 7 was 24 credits for the same what do I say? I can't even call it a qualification, but it seems to be a unit standard towards a qualification at NQF level 7. So these are the things we were dealing with, Chair, when we decided to start looking at how do we recover, because if somebody defrauded the city or any institution, then it's an obligation for me to recover. So those are the seven issues, and we couldn't get a direct answer from him. In fact, we were about to go to the UNISA to say, sort out the discrepancy, because even a letter from a professor from university spoke to an NQF level 7 course at 24 credits, which is used to say that he has that qualification in terms of the advertisement. So on Mr. Nida's is on page 23, Chair. I think I've completed that. If I may move on. Mr. Rivo's piece, Chair, with your permission, on page 25. Chair, Rivo's piece and I, decop Rivo's piece, I've never had an issue with it. The only issue that arose as a result of the investigation into Sintel. Sintel involves almost 100 million rands, which we're still trying to get. I'm trying to get figures from the chief financial officer and the department. I can't understand why, because we need to do the correlation. Why is there a reluctance to give us that information? As the city of Johannesburg also now recently terminated the Sintel investigation. They were this back office finance administration people. Rivers Peace was the project manager of that. So Chief of Police in 2024 June came to me. They were trying to get extensions, but we've been saying, but don't have evergreen contracts. You can't have a company.
Can you please explain what these Sintel traffic fines were? or the Sintel traffic fine system. What exactly was that?
Okay, thank you, Chair. So Sintel was a group appointed by the city so that when there's cameras in the road or you're doing your 341s, notices, in terms of your fines that you would be getting, there would be the fines administration part. They would be involved in collecting fines, and then there is a portion in terms of the agreement that they would withhold, and then they'll pass the rest off to the city, and then the city has a relationship with province in terms of the Road Traffic Act and all of those legislation for the administration of fines. Now, it came to a stage where the contract was coming to an end. The city decided that, you know what, we're paying too much money to Sintel, and then Sintel had already set up their own collection review, the My City. I think you can see it's My City or My Pay app, which is now linked to this R2 systems where you can be paying. Now, I was interested in the losses to the city because of the correlation. Are they accurately reflecting to the city what they should have been doing?
And you also referred to an unexplained withholding of revenues. Who was withholding the revenues?
Sintel, in the one matter where we found that the contract was extended, and internally they.
All I needed was
okay.
Because this is in the context of what Commissioner Rivers Peace being disciplined.
Yes.
So I wanted to know whether the withholding is alleged to have been by him, or whether it is alleged to have been by Sintel. So you say it was Sintel?
I say Sintel. He was the project manager. He needed to get all the funds, total accounting, before that contract exited.
All right. No, that's enough. I just wanted to, is it Sintel or was it Commissioner?
All right.
So
thank you, Chair.
Sintel. Thank you. Please
but
continue.
Nonetheless, yes, so Sintel is still outstanding, and we're busy with that, Chair. On Colonel Kelabokile Tepa, as I've mentioned already, I think, it was basically the issue of transfer, of her transfer, but that was done between the Chief of Police, City Manager, and I dealt with the brief of it. On Mapia, as I said, there was a lot of engagements because it was quite serious. For me, it is sexual harassment. I've dealt with it. There was political involvement by Mr. Itzhak Berg, who was the party leader of Independent Ratepay, IRASA, and Tanya Campbell, Mayor Campbell, and there's a councillor called Pretorius, Brandon Pretorius. So it ends up saying, linking to the executive mayor. So it was not the entire council, that there were a few pockets of who were trying to exert control in terms of chief of police. And even on the settlements, and then the non-paying of attorneys, because hoping, and the effect was, by non-paying these attorneys, despite promises to pay them, there was a withdrawal from there, and which you can't blame the advocates for. And that has caused us another problem in terms of finalizing the disciplinary process of the Chief of Police. On page 28, 6.6, alleged improper involvement in the forensic investigation. So the BX emails, I've touched on it already. I am the Deputy Information Officer for Popia, with huge fines that can be raised because of what was the content. I raised that as a concern. The city manager then called through the chief audit executive, and they appointed, so I was never involved in the appointment and so on. I only participated thereafter in terms of any information that was required by the investigators. So my role was limited to the fact that I was concerned about the content of the email, and thereafter I raised it, escalated it, and received the report thereafter. Thank you, Chair. On page 30, Chair, alleged failure to adequately address the grievance of Colonel Tepa. Again, that's been done. I have addressed it. I set in a grievance formal process. I have a finalized outcome, which was finding that the chief of police was the one that actually did the transfer. Alleged support of city manager in the usurpation of powers under section 64C of the SAPS Act. Chair, I just want to spend time on this. This is, for me, even at local government level, it's still a problem at all municipalities, because there is no clear-cut data to say that you are at EMPD or a police department of the metro all those SAPs and the provincial MEC and so on have an impact on the establishment. But once that happens, there's a lot of issues that fall. So I did not at any stage usurp any powers of the chief or assist in any usurpation of powers. The 64C2B of the Act provides that the executive head of the municipal service is responsible for the recruitment. I agree with that. The executive head being the chief of police. But there's a hybrid role. He's the executive head in terms of the SAPS Act for EMPD, but he's also an HOD in terms of Section 56 appointment. HOD is at our level. We do not get involved in the appointment. The most, to the extent I would get involved maybe with the divisional head or the deputy chief of police, and maybe even the executive manager, but not at any lower levels. So as much as I hear what the chief says, overall he's in charge. And he has to approve the appointments and so on. But from my side, and even in my response that I drafted, I even say, I recognize that there could have been things happening. Let's do a policy that could set out very clearly who you deal with. HR will deal with the issues in terms of, I as an HOD, I don't get involved. Chief of MAPA was an HOD as well, in terms of 56. But he had the dual role as an ED, Executive Director in terms of SAPS Act. So it was a dual function. And with the respect of powers of SAPS Act, but also respect of the MFMA